Hello, and welcome back to Katawa Shoujo. Last time we went to the store. Yep. And we ran into Rin, and she didn't know where she was or why she was there. 'Cause she's quirky. We start towards the school again, having wasted way more time than necessary with this episode. Rin walks along the edge of the sidewalk in her arrhythmic way, looking like a mix of sleepwalker and rope dancer, while Lily keeps one hand on my shoulder tapping at the ground with her cane. Tap, step, step, tap, tap, step, step, step. Apart from that, a few fragmented beginnings of conversation. It's quiet. Quite apart from the relaxing one into town at that. So how's the mural going? We're going to get bad luck. Never talk about works in progress. I'm sure it'll be wonderful. Bad luck. Tap, step, tap, step. She doesn't care to talk about it. Lily's politeness feels out of place for the first time. Step, step, step. The hill Yamaku rests on top of is surprisingly steep. Going uphill, we slow the pace, but I still feel my pulse rising and breathing getting heavier. Almost there. I can see the gates already. More than that though, I notice that Lily's hand slightly tightens on my shoulder, interpreting it as a gesture that she wants to ask something. I speak up. Anything wrong, Lily? I resist the urge to say aside from our traveling companion, but only just. For a moment she seems to debate whether she should even bring it up, but goes for it anyway. Is everything alright? Alright? How do you mean? In fact, I can't interpret her incredibly vague question. Puts her off for a second. The fact I can't interpret. It's just, you seem unusually tired, I guess. Now that she brings it up, I notice that my breathing is strangely heavy. The uphill walk has really done a job on me. Lily noticed it all too quickly. Sorry, I'm not very good. I don't want to talk about it. You're not my real dad. Sorry, I'm not in a very good condition. I'm gonna be honest. Because I would be honest if it was me. It's alright, I just need to catch my breath. My condition isn't the best these days. Oh. Is it something that is related to you being transferred here? I mean... She cuts herself off rather abruptly, maybe realizing she was being a bit intrusive. Her instincts are sharp though. And while I don't like the subject, it's not like I should lie about it. If it's Lily, I don't think I mind. I'm just a little weak for the time being. Hanako said you looked fairly healthy, so I naturally thought. Lily doesn't finish her sentence again, letting it trail off with a measure of concern. As she furrows her brow, Lily's uncomfortable expression spurs me to say at least something to ease her feelings. It's surprising she's this flustered considering her straightforward attitude with her own blindness. She must know that not all share her own comfort about such things. No, it's okay. I have a pretty, I guess the best way to put it would be messed up heart arrhythmia. I had a bad heart attack a while ago because of it, and spent most of the spring in a hospital, ended in Yamaku on doctor's orders. She silently nods her head in acknowledgement. My answer, though, only seems to make Lily furrow her brow even further. She doesn't seem to quite know how to react, given we don't really know each other that well. I can't really fault her for it, given I have the exact same reaction. To my surprise, in a moment's time, her face shows that she comes to some sort of realization. Wait, so the time when Emmy and you collided in the hallway? I grimace slightly. Her ability to connect the dots quite so fast is unexpected. Yeah, I guess I'm a textbook example of why those rules about running in the corridors exist. That was a lot more dry than I'd intended. Lily visibly shies away from continuing the topic. While I do want to assuage her concern, I really don't want to dwell on this either. Don't worry about it. I try to offer a reassuring smile, but then I realize the futility. Without knowing this, Lily smiles at me reassuredly, but doesn't say anything further. She could feel the smile. Arriving at the dorms, Rin stops in front of her mural as if lightning struck her. She had been so quiet for almost all of the walk back that I had all but forgotten she was here. It's Friday, isn't it? Yes, Friday, the 8th of June. This is bad. Bad? Why? Shh. I think I'm going to go in a fetal position and throw up, possibly in reverse order. Is something wrong? No, nothing is wrong. It's Friday and nothing is wrong yet. This mural is going to need to be finished by Sunday, so everything's alright. Do you have any drugs or a time machine? This is not good, not good. So she's behind her schedule, recalling Shizune's exasperation at Rin's carefree attitude several days ago. I don't know what to think. She has left herself open for a told you so, unless she can pull off whatever she needs to pull off by Sunday morning. Why don't we help her? Surely we can help her at least mix paints or whatever, it seemed like she got a lot done whenever we did that. Rin keeps staring at her mural, looking as mortified as she can. Leave me. I'm going to work for a while. I glance at Lily, expecting her to share an incredulous look with me as I roll my eyes, but then I realize she's not one to do that kind of thing. Leave me. We do, of course, not wanting to aggravate her any more than she already is. There is a churning bad feeling in my gut. Rin sure has a knack for making people feel worried about her. She seems like a person who should never be left alone. Maybe we should call someone? She sounded like she was going into shock or something. Oh, whoops. I'm sure she will be just fine. She just, how to say... Lily cocks her head a little, trying to find a polite way of calling Rin crazy without calling her crazy. Unique? Yes, a very unique person. I guess you could say that. She giggles at the notion melodiously, nodding in agreement. Sorry about leaving you stranded as I talked to her. Sorry about leaving you stranded as you talked to her. I don't really understand her, so I keep my distance. So my guess was right. Lily offers a slight apologetic smile, as if she was sorry that her own shortcomings have prevented her from becoming closer to Rin. I'm not one to blame her, at all. Lily lets slip a long breath, probably a disguised yawn. I imagine she's as exhausted by all this as I am. I'd better leave now, and give these to Hanako. Thank you for the company, Hisao. She smiles very sweetly at me. It feels different than normal, despite the fact that she seems to be smiling so often. I can't put my finger on what the difference is. It's just different. Maybe it's genuine, and usually she just puts on the smile. Relaxed, I'd say. That's probably just relief over getting rid of Rin. Maybe. Yeah, good night. Say hi to Hanako for me. I will. Good night. Dark time. That's the sound of sleeping. Bing, 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 bing. The students roll into class for the Saturday morning session, each and every one of them sporting the tired eyes of people who have worked through the night. Why are they in class? It's Saturday. With only a day left to prepare, I suppose it's not so surprising. So thankfully, we only have to suffer through classes until the lunch break, and then our time is our own. Hi, Mutou. Mutou lurches into class in a tired stagger. I suppose students aren't the only people here that enjoy their late Friday nights. Without saying a word, he scrawls some page and question numbers on the board and slumps down in his desk. It's completely atypical behavior for him, but it appears that no one in the class is going to call him out on it. Wordlessly, the students shuffle their textbooks into position and get to work. Not wanting to break the trend, I do the same. Fatigue has made the class antisocial. Not a peep is heard among the ruffling papers. That can partly be attributed to the 2 empty seats beside me. For some reason, Misha and Shizune aren't present, probably doing council work for the festival. As they do. It's very quiet without Misha present. Yeah, I bet. She's loud. I wonder if she was born as rowdy as she is, or if she is making up for Shizune's lack of voice. Nakai, can I speak to you for a moment? I'm so engrossed in thinking about Misha that I don't even notice Mutou approaching my desk. Sure, what's this about? It's probably better if we speak outside the classroom. I don't know if I like this. Something about this doesn't sound too good, but I stand up and follow him out into the hallway. Mutou stands in the hallway, scratching his head as he works out what he is trying to say. Not knowing what is going on, I wait silently. I don't like this. I don't like this. I don't like this. So tell me, how are things? Things? I expected Mutou to be a little vague, but this is pushing the limits. You know, things. You've had a week to settle in now, so how are things? It's fine, I guess. I see. And how is your condition? The pause before condition seems a little unnecessary. Haven't had any problems so far. A brief shimmer of relief passes across Mutou's face. Good, that's good. The school nurse was a little concerned that you might have been pushing yourself a bit too hard. He asked me to keep an eye on you when he couldn't. That makes sense. I'd ask that you don't blow us off so freely. As much as we try to give you the level of education that you could get at a normal school, you have to realize that you have limits. Our goal is to make sure that you know where those limits are and how to maximize your potential within them. Do you follow me? I guess. I mean, I don't plan on doing anything stupid. Well, that's a start, I guess. So then on to my next question. How are you finding your studies? I understand you were laid up for a while. We're not too far ahead, are we? I don't really think so. I tried to keep up when I was in the hospital, so it hasn't been too hard. I turned it up a little. Mutou taps his chin and raises an eyebrow as he absorbs this information. Is that so? I suppose there are still students out there who realize the importance of learning. I wouldn't go that far. I was only trying to keep myself occupied in my little life support prison. Oof. Well, yeah, you gotta keep up with these things, right? That's exactly it. One wrong move in this world and you're left behind, right? Good lord. That's a heavy thing to say to the 18-year-old? Right, wouldn't want that to happen. No, you wouldn't. Every week there's a new scientific discovery. Most of them mean nothing to the layperson, but any one of them could be the key to the next big thing. I'll keep that in mind. It's obvious that Mutou's serious talk is over, he's gone back to his standard, slightly scatterbrained approach to life. I think in hindsight that I prefer him this way. He's slightly more predictable in his unpredictability. Well then, I think that's all I really had to say. Let's get back inside, shall we? My relief at that suggestion is insurmountable. Sure, you're the boss, right? Mutou pauses for a moment. I don't think any of my students have ever said that to me before. For an instant, I consider replying to this, but something deep within me tells me to shut my mouth and get back into the classroom. Oof. A few of the students jump at the sound of the door, rapidly trying to pretend that they are working on the questions on the board. Some don't even bother, their heads slumped on the desk as they nap. Thankfully, it would appear that Mutou does not even notice them. He returns to his desk and retrieves a scientific journal from one of the drawers. I guess I got to him there. Why does that sentence puzzle me so? The class returns to the near silence that Mutou and I left it in before our chat. Mixed feelings of tiredness and anticipation buzz around the room. Everyone here is either waiting for a chance to rest or the chance to get their last-minute preparations underway. The clock on the wall slowly ticks the remaining class time away, until finally the bells cry out, ending the torment. Before you all leave, I expect the answers for those problems by Monday. Meh. I don't want to answer problems. The class sighs as one, instantly regretting slacking off, but still acutely aware of the more pressing issue at hand. The classroom empties in a blink of an eye as everyone rushes to their last-minute festival preparations. I stay behind and try to quickly finish the questions so I don't have to bother with it over the rest of the weekend, with the festival and all tomorrow. Oh. Ah! It's a peeper. Hanako, Lily told me to give you this thing. I don't know what it is because they didn't tell me. Apart from me, Hanako is the only one left, obviously waiting for Lily. It's weird that Lily comes all the way to our classroom to pick her up. I expect that moving around is at least nominally harder for her than it is for Hanako. But it's none of my business, and I naturally don't ask about it from Hanako. Finally! Hisao, yes, mind your damn business. You've only been here like a week, and you're all trying to get up in people's lives. Goodness. Despite the relative proximity of our seats, neither tries to strike up a conversation about that, or anything else either. So an oppressive silence falls upon the classroom. Time passes in silence. It's probably just 15 minutes or so, but it feels longer. I turn pages of my notebook. Hanako turns pages of the novel she's reading. My pencil lead splinters against the paper just when I was about to finish a paragraph. The sounds of my irritated sigh and subsequent fumbling around for a sharpener feel like they're breaking the mood of the classroom. Hanako keeps her eyes firmly away from my direction. Before long, Lily's tall figure appears in the doorway. Hanako! Hanako! Aw, look! She said, yay, my friend! Hi, friend! It's me! They're so cute. They love each other. Her name is all it takes to make Hanako jump up from her desk and run to Lily. Oh, that's so sweet. Bye! They talk quietly for a moment, but it isn't long before Lily leaves down the hall and Hanako idles back into the classroom, taking her seat once again. I watch Hanako out of the corner of my eye out of sheer curiosity at the idea that the two would be separated. For a couple of minutes she does nothing but sit with her chin in her hand, staring at the desk dejectedly. The boredom evidently becomes too much for her though, her slender frame reaching into her bag and pulling out a small book. Come to think of it, that isn't the one I saw her reading at the library. She must be quite a fast reader to get through them at this rate. After about 10 minutes of restlessly shuffling in her seat and trying to read, Hanako closes her book and leaves too. As should I, since the assignment is all but finished, and there is nothing else to do in the classroom. Not that I have anything to do anywhere else, either. The school is a beehive of activity, but nobody pays me any mind, or pays me any heed. Interesting. I saunter past classrooms filled with students frantically doing this and that, buzzing around like little worker bees. You wouldn't guess the school day is over. It's a bit quieter outside, but not by much. People zip by left and right, hurrying as quickly as they can, busy and energetic. I feel quite the opposite. The midday sun seems to be draining all of my spirit out of my body, making it feel limp all over. Warm, soft air flows inside my shirt, feeling like a cushion. I yawn lazily, thinking about what I'd do. I'll drop off my books at the dorm first, and then something I haven't decided yet. Maybe Kenji is in his room. Oh, don't go talk to him. Do anything but go help Rin with her painting. Go help Lily do the paperwork. Make a stall. Do anything but talking to Kenji. On the way to dorms, I spot Emmy coming my way, running despite not having those weird running prosthetics on. I wave at her and she skids to a stop. Yo, Hisao! Spatters of white and green paint adorn her nose and chin respectively, but her smile is wide, as it seems it always is. These people! Personal space, please! Get away from me. I've known you for a week. You can't get that close to me. 6 feet apart. She leans closer to me, amplifying the feeling she is examining me. What you doing? Nothing, really. I don't have anything to do for the festival, and everyone else seems to be doing something important. That's perfect. Then you can help me and Rin. Yeah. With the festival preparations? I'm not sure I would be much of help. That's fine. I'm not much help either. Emmy grabs my wrist and starts dragging me back inside the school quite forcefully. Why inside? I thought we were doing, painting. We can't paint the mural out that is outside from inside. Even her walking speed is more like jogging, making me stumble over myself simply trying to keep up. Tell her to slow down. We have a condition. The stairs slow Emmy down a little bit. Maybe it's hard to climb with her legs, or maybe she's finally run out of breath. We go all the way back to the 3rd floor and to the seniors' hallway, ending up where I left 5 minutes ago. I could just as well have stayed here waiting for Emmy had I known. So is Rin working on that mural still? That's right. She needs all kinds of paint and brushes and stuff, so I went to get them from the art classroom. And you need me to help with that? Well, Rin told me you had already helped her, so I thought you wouldn't mind. I see. So thanks to Emmy's flaky logic, here I am again, collecting stuff from the art classroom for other people. The room is empty apart from ourselves and the lonely specks of dust floating in the air. Emmy skips straight ahead to the back wall, digging out a tiny crumpled piece of paper from her pocket. Oh, I guess it's a list. While she tries to make sense of the scrawled handwriting, I take a closer look at the materials lying around here. Dozens of paint cans and bottles are arranged on the shelves in a most unorganized fashion. Yes, most unorganized. Some look like they have been left there for several decades, relics of previous art club generations. Next to the heavy stacks of neatly piled drawing paper are boxes full of different sized brushes and unassorted crayons. The smell of paint, turpentine, and fresh paper float in the stale air mixing in my nostrils to form that unmistakable scent of art. Ah yes, the unmistakable scent of art. Emmy studies her notes, comparing them to markings on various paint cans, and passes them to me as she finds the correct matches. She stretches her neck to look at the topmost shelf, but it's not quite enough. Her eye level stays below the shelf no matter what she does. Emmy gives up and just looks up to the shelf longingly like a child at a toy store huffing in annoyance. Aww. After a moment of building anger, she starts jumping up and down, apparently trying to speed read the labels during the fraction of a second she can see them and catch what she can. It's no surprise that she fails miserably and almost manages to bring the entire shelf crashing down. Oh no. Now I see why me lending a hand here would be useful. Come on, let me do that. You can't jump high enough, and I don't want you to hurt yourself trying. Also, I'm like twice your height. You are not! She turns around, flaring scorn, flushed cheeks and all. Just kidding, just kidding. Anyway, I'll look up there, okay? She glares at me one more time, but can't come up with a retort with a grudging She turns her back to me. So I begin scrounging around the top shelf for paint while below Emmy crouches to scavenge what she can from the cupboards. I shake my head a little, after double checking to ensure she can't see me do so. Emmy having a complex about her height was a surprise. I wouldn't have joked about it otherwise. She seemed easygoing, but I guess everyone has their weak spots. Only after we have almost all the items collected and spread out on the desk like a treasure hunter's spoils do I realize that it wasn't necessarily the height jab that got her riled up. She might not like to be told that she can't do something, like jump. But Emmy herself seems to have forgotten all about it already. Quick to anger, quick to forgive. Is she that type of person? I don't know, I've known her for a week. Not even that, because I don't even think I met her on the first day. At least she doesn't seem to have taken anything to heart, as she chatters away happily while we pick up the rest of the items and then make our way back to Rin. I was gonna leave it here, but I don't want to leave it on this noise. I chivalrously carry the bulk of the materials as we make our way towards the dormitories. Rin is really stressed about getting her painting done. It's her own fault, though. She should have started earlier. Is she going to make it? No idea. It looks good to me, but with Rin, you never know what's going on. I found her this morning lying in front of the dorm in a fetal position. She hadn't slept all night. Sounds like an artist to me. I can't believe that the night nurses hadn't found her. And now she's painting again like crazy. Yeah, I've noticed that she comes off as kinda unhinged, so to speak. Emmy giggles at that, as well as my likely too obvious awkwardness. I don't mind it. She's just a little weird sometimes. On that I can agree with her. Unlike me, Emmy seems to be cool with Rin's whatever it is that feels so off about her. Still, they don't feel close like Misha and Shizune do. With them working as a single entity sometimes, it's hard to say where one ends and the other begins. Even though they're so different, just like Emmy and Rin are. And Rin is the most different of them all, different from anyone else I've met. Yeah, I guess she's a very unique person. I return to that word again, as if it encompasses Rin's personality by itself, and really it's just a substitute for a lengthy description of her oddities. Emmy giggles as I grasp about for a properly descriptive word. She's just weird. You know, earlier she just spent half an hour sitting on her box and stared at her toes. She giggles again in a way that makes me think she doesn't know what's funny about it. It just is. All that time. Alright. I will leave it off here. So, we talked to Mutou and then saw a bunch of passing conversations, I guess. Like, we were just like, oh, there they go. Oh, there they go. Oh, they gone. And now we are with Emmy and Rin, doing what I have been suggesting, which is help Rin with her painting. Okay, we will actually go help Rin with her painting in the next episode.